Okay, wow. I need to buy me a better webcam. Okay, hey, Alan. It's Josh. Remember me from a couple months ago? Um, really felt the need to respond to the video you just put up about fat acceptance, but to type it out would be like fucking a bajillion lines of text, so I'm gonna try to record this video and then link to it in the response. See how that goes. Um, First of all, um, let me just say that I think I understand what you're trying to do, but I don't think you're going about it the most effective way. Um, First of all, you can't really scream at people to get them to change. I know that's kind of your shtick, what you do. I'm everyday fitness, goddamn, it's loud as fuck and all that, and I understand that. Um, but sometimes you really need to dial back the volume because you come off as a little bit belligerent, and that kind of puts people into duck and cover mode. So occasionally, it might be a good idea to adopt a more, let's just say, civil and reasonable tone when you're addressing certain things. And secondly, as far as this issue of fat shaming and fat acceptance, and fat acceptance shouldn't be a thing and all that, I understand what you're saying. I really do. But you're not saying it right. Now, I'm given to believe that you got into fitness. From what I understand watching your other videos, you got into fitness, weightlifting, track sports, and all that at a fairly young age and have never been like me. Never been morbidly obese, never been. I mean, I could be making presumptions. You could have been beaten the shit out of by your daddy figure most of your childhood and into your early adult life. You could have been ostracized as a result of being fucked up in the head from those experiences in school and in social activities and things of that nature when you were young. I'm kind of given to believe that's not the case, though. And I understand that you look at this issue and it concerns you and you want to do something. I understand that. But what you need to understand, buddy, is that you don't get it. You haven't been one of us. You don't understand what makes one of us. And you're doing the exact same that other people that have said this same thing since time immemorial are saying, but you're not asking the right question. You're asking the question of what do we do now with these fat asses that are, my generation or such as it. What do we do to fix this now as they are adults that are already fat asses? And that's kind of, in my view, the wrong way. Because at this point, we're set in our ways. At this point, whenever people come hollering at us that we need to change this and we're not doing that and we're too fat and yada yada our whole fucking lives, we go into fortress mode because we have learned that if we duck inside of our internal walls that we've learned to put up over our whole lives of having people come at us, that eventually they'll run out of steam and go the fuck away and leave us alone. Alright. The question that needs to be asked and the action that needs to be taken is to ask the question, why did this happen in the first place? Alright. Shit's already fucked up at this point. Now is not. It's. That's. That's way too many chains down the chain of links down the chain of causality to start taking action and expect things to start changing super what. My generation's fucked, Alan. Alright, I'm a fat ass. I associate with fat asses and other outcasts because Other people don't want us around. They don't want to look at us. They don't want to fuck us. They don't want to date us. They don't want to work with us. They don't want to associate with us at social gatherings. They don't even want to think about us. They really don't. And you don't know what that's like because you've always been, to my knowledge, from what I've seen, from what you've put out there. Now, I'm making presumptions. But to my knowledge, you've never been here. You've never been on this side. You've never had people just coming at you all the time. Now, what I suggest you do, what you might have done before making this video, and before you make another video of this type, is take it upon yourself to try and do what I've already had it done by virtue of my life. Okay? Of being a fat ass, I understand fat asses. I've been around fat asses a lot. And eventually, when you're friends with a fat ass enough, and you're also a fat ass, you get comfortable enough to have the conversation, well, why are you fat? And unlike you may not have meant to come off like this, but this is how it did come off with the way you phrased shit in your video here, is we don't do this because being slothful and gluttonous is a fun thing to do and is more fun than having friends and having a social life and having fun shit to do with people that actually want you around. Okay, but that's not the case. Food is very much, and you were right on this, food is a trigger. Is when you mention alcoholism, drug abuse, you mention things like that. Those are all coping mechanisms. If you actually talk to fat people and ask them why they got fat, it's not because being fat is fun, or getting fat and how you got fat was fucking fun. It's because something hurts. Now, from my personal experience, I wasn't fat till I got older. My mom kept a tight rein on my fucking food, because I think she probably knew I would get fat if I got off the chain. But the problem is she also married abusive assholes that fucked me up in the head. But so it kind of came out in the wash, really. But I was an average sized, decent looking kid, but from the things I had to deal with at home, I was withdrawn, I was introverted, I wasn't particularly outgoing and shy and kind of a nerd, and well, you know how it was back in the 80s, man. Wasn't nowadays being nerd is, you got nerd chic. Being a nerd is cool. Now all the nerds from the 80s grew up and they run fucking shit. But no, that's not, and you know, and I know that that's not how it was when we were coming up. You know, if you did cerebral pursuits, if you were in AV club, if you were in the chess club, if you were in the RP club, you got your fucking ass kicked. All right, you got ostracized, you got targeted, and if I'm sorry, but if you're one of the people that says there weren't no bullies in my high school, it's because you were one of the popular kids. So, people like us, home life is fucked. We're hurt at home. We go to school, we're hurt at school. Teachers don't really help. Guidance counselors don't really help. Maybe they do these days, but back in the day, system was shit. Guidance counselors didn't help. Principals didn't help. Teachers didn't help. Their cops didn't fucking believe us. Yada, 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 yada. CPS was fucking non-existent. Where it did exist, it was a fucking joke. Kids didn't have the protections. All right. Beating the shit out of your fucking kid for half an hour with a belt was commonplace and considered acceptable. Now it's illegal. All right. And now you've got a whole generation of fucked up people that are broken, and it's getting worse. And shitty food existing isn't the cause. Couches existing isn't the cause. It's this society that doesn't help people when they're too young to help themselves, and then they grow up into people that don't know how to cope except by putting something into their body. And you're a physical guy, you should know about endorphins, adrenaline, and other euphoric compounds that drinking, drugs, questionable sex practices, shitty food, release. Alright? And that's the thing that you totally didn't address in your video, is not how do we fix this now that people are by and large too far gone. And I can say that because I'm one of them. And yes, I'm coming out of it, but it took me 40 fucking years to do it. 40 fucking years, and I'm still fucked up. I'm always going to be fucked up. You know? And I'm going to have to learn how to fucking deal with being fucked up on my own, because pills didn't help. Psychs didn't help. They just fucking sit there, take notes. Here, swallow this fucking shit. You know? I had some support groups that, you know, helped. It helped having someone else that knew what the fuck I was going through, but by and large, that's kind of hard for me to get to here in Columbus with no car right now. Maybe in the future. Right now, I'm just having to deal with it on my own. And, you know, it's maybe as an adult that's acceptable, but the time for you and others like you, and well-intentioned but misguided as you are, and I'm sorry to say, but you're kind of misguided right now, is not now. Is not me now. I mean, that's appreciated, and it'll do some good. Although I have to admit, dude, I'm kind of wondering, you know, you reached out to me, I reached back, I sent you the stuff you asked for. I haven't heard from you in almost 2 months, so... And now you put this video out telling other people to do shit, I'm kind of confused. Maybe you just forgot about me. You're a busy guy. And honestly, I've done 85 pounds on my own. I'm at 402 official now. So I can kind of live without the extra help. But still, sets a bad precedent. But to continue, the time for people to reach out, the time for people to help someone is before they're too far gone. Because by the time they're grown like me, they're set in their ways. And unless something develops inside of us to change us, all the yammering, this, that, and the other, ain't gonna fucking do shit. I'm here to tell you, boss. I'm here to tell you. Being one of those guys that you want your subscribers to go do something about, it ain't gonna hurt. I hate to have to say it, I really do, but I know too many fat asses that it's like, you're worried about, you rail about, you know, with Joey Graceffa, Joey's World Tour, I meant to say. Joey Graceffa is a different guy, but Joey's World Tour, you rail about how he's going to die and suffer and all that shit, and I can tell it really fucking pains you, but you can't change him, and you can't have someone else change him either. He's got to want to change himself, and that's going to have to come from within, probably extraneous of anything else. And you're also going on about how they're going to live shorter lives, they're going to die sooner, but what you fail to understand, man, is that for a lot of us, that's not a bad thing. We don't think of that as a bad thing, because that's just, maybe it'll be shit at the end, but that's a price we've come to be willing to pay in order to not have to deal with everybody else constantly telling us that we're disgusting, constantly telling us that we're gross, that we're ugly, that we're worthless, that we're useless, constantly fucking giving other people that burn themselves out in the gym and don't have any energy to do a fucking decent job at work that you do twice the job of, twice as good of a job. They get the fucking promotion, you get fucking shit because they got muscles and you don't, even though they do half the fucking work and suck up. They're skinny little fuckers that can stuff their face with God effort, whatever, get the fucking promotion or get the job over you. You know, I've been denied service because I'm fat. I've been denied jobs and promotions because I'm fat. I've been physically fucking attacked by muscle of fucking meat, what people will call meatheads, in numbers of 4 and greater, because I guess it takes that many to beat my ass because I'm fat. Any other demographic in the world, this would be called a hate, in this country rather, I don't know about the rest of the world, but any other, you do that to a woman, it's a severe crime. You do that to a gay person, a minority, it's a hate crime. You do it to me, DA don't even fucking prosecute or shit. Now, before I continue, do me a favor, bud. Pause me right now. Look at your own comment section. I'll wait. Okay, you back? Now, do me a favor. Look at all the people and comments that said something along the lines of this. Gosh, Alan, you're right. This is a huge problem in our society, and we need to find out why it's happening and address the root cause and help these people and make this thing better and fix it and make it go away. And then compare that number of responses to the number of comments that go something along the lines of, wow, yeah, Alan, you're right. Fat people are awful and gross and should have no love for themselves and be totally ashamed to exist. Again, I'll wait. Go ahead and pause me. Okay, you back down? You done the numbers? Kind of skewed, isn't it? And this is just the comments on your own, admittedly small, but growing, but still small, web channel. When I read through the comments, I didn't see a one of, yeah, Alan, you're right. How do we fix this? Yeah, Alan, you're right. I got a guy that I know that I can go help. In your own comment section of this video, it ain't nothing but fucking hate. And I understand you're well intentioned, but like I said, I don't think words in whatever volume are going to do anything, especially not with people on the internet. It really ain't. You know, this is like, it reminds me of my roommate that's all time posting shit on Pinterest about the political situation in the country and how, you know, Walmart is evil and Hillary Clinton needs to go to jail and all this fucking shit and yada 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 yada. And, you know, constantly posting videos and Facebook shit and Pinterest shit, trying to urge other people to go do shit. But he don't do shit himself. And that's what it ends up being most of the time. People talk about it, nobody does anything. Nobody addresses the root cause. You know, because saying a fat person is fat because it's fun for him to sit on the couch and be lazy and shove his face full of shitty food and be gluttonous because it's fun is about as ridiculous as saying, hey, this person that's an alcoholic, you know, saying, hey, man, I sure do love this pain and discomfort from cirrhosis of the liver. Let's fucking continue to do this shit because it's such a fucking great time. I'd rather be doing this than any other thing else. Let's fucking tell the crackhead, boy, it sure is nice fucking having to suck dick to get money for crystal meth and fucking crack cocaine and shit to feed my fucking addiction. That, you know, people don't start doing shit like that. I mean, yeah, sure, with the alcoholics, sometimes people do, you know, start doing drugs and then spiral in, but even those people are usually partying too much, and they're usually partying too much because there's something already wrong. The people that party too much, that drink too much, that fuck too much, the wrong people unsafely, that fucking do too much drugs, that smoke too much weed and never leave the house, that eat too much. The drinking isn't the root cause. The food isn't the root cause. The parties aren't the root cause. The sex isn't the root cause. The sex is the symptoms. Okay? And you need, if you're going to do this, my friend, you're going to have to do it right and address the root cause, not the final result. If you're going to want to make any headway, you know. Because I know your intention was not to fat shame, but by saying no, telling people no, don't accept this, and I realize that probably wasn't your end result, but look at your own comic section. All you did was perpetuate more shame, and shame never helps. Shame never fixes anything. All shame does is make people hate people for shaming them, resent people for shaming them, and turtle up and wait for it to stop. Because eventually it'll stop. Will stop. We've learned that it'll stop. It'll happen again, but it'll stop. Eventually, at least for a while. And then, to cope with the fucking hurtful attacks, and inadvertently, that's kind of what you just did, buddy. If not doing it yourself, encouraging other people to attack. Again, look at the evidence. Scroll down, buddy. Look at the evidence. Look up other videos about fat acceptance, fat shaming. There's no one talking about how do we stop this from happening in the first place. There's nobody talking in how do we help these people. It's all a bunch of these people are fucking disgusting. These people are fucking shameful. They should live in shame. We have the right to fucking come after them, to deny them fucking shit that we'll give other people for free that they bust their fucking ass for. We have the right to talk at them like they're lesser. We have the right to think of them as less than us. Not as good as us. That we are better than them. Look at the comments. Look at any other form of social media on this fucking issue, dude. I'm starting to spin my wheels, man. But if you want to do something, I don't know how much, I don't think you got enough time to really do anything about this, Alan. I really don't. Because as busy as you are, y'all talk about how busy you are. And you really didn't seem to have time for me, the one guy. So I think maybe this is a puddle you shouldn't ought to have jumped in, because you don't have time to swim to the other side. And if you don't have time to swim to the other side, you should stay the fuck out of it, really. Because this, just making a fucking little video about it, it ain't gonna do shit. It really ain't. Do, show by example, if you can figure out how. Do something in your local community. Maybe start free fitness in the park with every damn day fitness. Maybe, and that's the thing. Nobody wants. You're talking about fucking people doing shit for free. Nobody wants to do shit for free. They'll make YouTube videos for free, but as far as my personal time, and I have looked, at least in Colombia, all the places I've lived, there ain't no fucking, hey man, we'll just come and I'll help you physically be there to help you for free. No, they want to charge for that shit. And they often want to charge more than what people have, because we get paid less, we don't get as good at jobs, and people think we deserve this. Even if we went to school, even if we got the papers that say we know this shit, even if we got the experience, Mr. Snappy Dresser over there will get the job. But I ain't. And so I have less means than the people that don't need it. I go to try to buy exercise equipment for a fuck ton of money, but there ain't no point. I save all that money because ain't none of it goes over 250 pounds of weight rating. Really. Oh, there's personal training I can get you out for fucking $60 an hour. See, all that shit. I mean, once you get past the point, there ain't really no help for you. Just figure out how to do it on your own. If you're lucky and you got somebody in your family that really loves you enough. But in my experience, that's a lot of love that most people don't have, even their fucking offspring. I mean, my mom yammers at me, but she don't really do anything. She expects me to do it all on my own. My friends yammer at me, but they don't do anything. They expect me to do it all on my own. And one video ain't going to change people's minds about that. It's not their problem. They don't think they did anything. They don't remember that they might have been that guy that, in school was a fucking dick. I've heard a lot of people, big fucking jocks and football players that can bench 3 fucking 100 pounds in high school and shit, saying that they were bullies as a kid. And now that they have kids that experience bullying, they regret having done it now. But that don't stop them then. And it don't stop the new generation of bullies now. It don't stop the people. It don't stop people from breaking their kids. It don't stop students, kids from breaking other kids. It don't stop fucking teachers from not really knowing what the fuck to do about it. And guidance counselors and all that shit, because even in the best fucking communities, it's still shit. And that's the root cause. The root cause is that people that overeat are just like people that drink too much, party too much, fuck too much, do too much drugs. They're hurting because they're busted, and they're trying to find a way to cope with it. And this society breaks people and makes them hurt, and then curses and shames them for finding a way, for the ways that they find to cope with it, instead of just not busting them in the first place. And that's the cause of this. You know, you talked about how obesity is going up in the country, and it is. And you know what else is going up? Anorexia, bulimia, self-harming, teen suicide, teen drug use, teen and young persons drinking, excessive promiscuity. These are all things that are going up, and they're all related issues. All of this shit is endemic, and it all stems from the root cause. See, you're making a video trying to fix shit at the end when the avalanche has already pretty much almost hit the bottom of the mountain. You know, that snowball effect. The thing to do shit is at the beginning, before it gets too big. Alright? So I'll say it again. I know fat people better than most people know fat asses, because I am myself a fat ass. And I have experience with them. And when they get to my age, it's really hard to get them to change. Just like it's really hard to get anybody to change anything. You know, if there was something secret that we don't know about that was you was doing that you weren't supposed to do, and I tried to get you to change, I'd probably have a hard time with it, because we're set. We're stuck. It's hard to get us. The action to take is when it's before it's too late, before people get as far gone as us and are just set in the ways of duck and cover, wait till it blows over, and then go put something in us to make us feel better. Because we're in like a 10, 15, 20 year habit of this at this point. It's really hard to break. Now, if you want to continue to come in at this stage, it's your life. I can't really tell you not to. But I think the juice will be more the squeeze if maybe you go a different route with this. And don't scream at us. You know, it comes off wrong. Your message gets distorted, and like, again, I know it's your stick, but sometimes it just, that level of, that tone and volume of aggression and belligerence and, you know, screaming and hollering has been described to me from a number of people as a type of verbal violence, which sometimes is appropriate, particularly if you're in like a back and forth kind of fucking thing, but it's not a good convincer. You know, you might consider, you know, you've come on Alpha M and the other fashionists, you might consider that they have a lot of followers and they got them in a very short amount of time, but you might consider that none of them ever scream at people about important shit. Just something to think about. Anyway, I've rambled on for a while now. I think I've said as much as I can say without continuing to spin my wheels over and over again. So I'm going to conclude this video. I'm hopeful that I have not offended you, but I'm also hopeful that I've given you some things to think about and maybe the perspective of what life on the other side of the fence is like. So when you next try to effect some change, maybe you'll be more informed about how to and not to go about it. Because you don't want the message to get fucked by the delivery, you know. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for your time. I'm going to see if this posts.